What if Tupac never died in 1996? What if everything we thought we knew about that night in Las Vegas was just part of a story someone wanted us to believe? According to Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard and insider to Bad Boy Records, the truth is far darker and far stranger than we ever imagined. Deal claims that Diddy didn't just see Tupac as a rival, he allegedly wanted him gone. But Tupac, ever the strategist, may have outsmarted everyone. This isn't just rumor mill chatter. These are sworn statements from someone who worked in Diddy's inner circle, who saw and heard things most of us could only speculate about. And when you combine that with decades of whispers, strange sightings, and cryptic messages left behind by Tupac himself, a shocking possibility emerges. He might still be alive, hiding and watching from the shadows. So, what do you think? Could Tupac have really orchestrated his own escape and vanished from the world, leaving everyone to believe he was gone forever? Gene Deal isn't just any former employee. He was Diddy's personal bodyguard, someone who ate, traveled, and worked under him every single day. That position gave him a front row seat to the empire, the power plays, and the whispers that never reached the public. And now, decades later, he's speaking out, revealing a side of Diddy that most of the world has never seen. According to Deal, Diddy didn't just harbor competitive tension with Tupac, he allegedly openly discussed wanting him eliminated. Not in music, not in coded lyrics, but in plain words, in moments that would shock anyone listening today. Deal paints a portrait of a man running what looks like a shadow operation, someone who had the reach, resources, and influence to silence rivals without ever stepping into the spotlight himself. This isn't some dramatic exaggeration. It's a claim from an insider, one whose loyalty to Diddy was unquestionable at the time, and whose revelations now raise questions about what really happened behind the scenes in the 90s. If you were in Tupac's shoes, hearing whispers that someone with Diddy's power wanted you gone, what would you do? Could you plan a way out, or would you be trapped by the world around you? Gene Deal suggests Tupac wasn't naive about the danger surrounding him. Far from it. He may have sensed it long before that fateful night. Evidence points to his awareness. Tupac often wore a protective vest for appearances, for clubs, for times when the threat was real. Yet on September 7th, 1996, at the Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas, he left it behind. Was it arrogance, carelessness, or part of a much larger plan? Deal hints that Tupac understood the stakes and may have deliberately set the stage for a more elaborate escape. A man at the height of his fame, constantly watched, knew that survival sometimes required outsmarting even the most powerful enemies. This raises an unsettling question. If Tupac truly anticipated a hit, could his supposed death have been the ultimate act of strategy? Could he have walked away, leaving the world to believe he was gone? What would you do if you were Tupac, knowing that someone like Diddy might want you eliminated? Would you risk everything or vanish without a trace? For decades, fans and insiders have whispered that Tupac staged his own death. Now, with Gene Deal's revelations, those whispers gain new weight. There are inconsistencies in the autopsy that raise eyebrows. His height and weight were listed differently than his real stats, and the coroner handling the case mysteriously disappeared from the profession shortly afterward. Even Tupac's mother added a cryptic layer to the story, speaking as if her son had chosen to leave quietly. Was it mourning or a subtle nod to a secret only she understood? These clues, when pieced together, suggest something far stranger than a tragic murder. They hint at a carefully orchestrated exit. And if Tupac really escaped, the question becomes unavoidable. Where did he go? How could one of the most famous men in the world vanish without leaving a trace? Do you think Tupac could have fooled the entire world, or is this just another conspiracy theory? If Tupac did escape, where could he have gone? Gene Deal's account and other insiders point to Cuba. Tupac's family ties run deep. His aunt, Asada Shakur, has lived in Havana under Castro's protection for decades, a fact that adds plausibility to the theory. Michael Nice, a former security operative, claims he helped smuggle Tupac to Cuba, where Fidel Castro himself allegedly agreed to shelter him under strict conditions: no public appearances, no music releases, and no confirmations that he was alive. Imagine one of the world's most electrifying voices reduced to anonymity on a Caribbean island, living in secrecy while the world mourned him. The story gains more intrigue with recent reports. In October 2024, locals in Havana swore they spotted a man resembling Tupac wandering markets, and videos and photos of lookalikes in their 40s and 50s began surfacing online. Each sighting fuels the theory, while every denial does little to extinguish the fire. Could Tupac really be hiding in plain sight, thousands of miles away from the life he once led? Do you think it's possible he's still in Cuba today, watching the world from the shadows? Gene Deal's revelations take a darker turn when he describes what he calls Diddy's secret squad, a shadow team tasked with handling problems quietly, keeping rivals and witnesses in line. According to Deal, those connected to Tupac's case often vanished, went silent, or were otherwise prevented from speaking out. This alleged pattern hasn't faded with time. In fact, it mirrors today's legal battles. On May 5th, 2025, Diddy's federal trial began, focusing on charges like trafficking, racketeering, and intimidation. Observers can't help but notice how history seems to echo itself. The same mechanisms that allegedly kept Pac's case cold appear in the same empire decades later. The pattern is chilling. If Diddy truly operated behind the scenes like Deal suggests, it explains why people close to these stories often disappear or retreat before telling the full truth. Do you think someone could really maintain that level of control for decades across different cases and generations? Could this be the reason Tupac's disappearance remained such an enduring mystery? Tupac wasn't just disappearing physically, he was leaving clues in plain sight. His Machiavelli alias, inspired by Machiavelli's writings about faking death to outsmart enemies, was a signal in itself. Fans noticed a chilling detail in the phrase from his posthumous album booklet: "Exit Tupac, enter Machiavelli." Rearranged, it reads, "Am alive, K?" Could this have been Tupac's subtle message to the world, revealing that he had survived? 7 posthumous albums followed, each one carrying the unmistakable voice of a man who sounded too present, too urgent to be gone. Was it merely a workaholic legacy, or was it a pre-planned survival blueprint, crafted to communicate across time and distance? Every lyric, every hidden reference seemed to hint at life beyond the headlines. Could Tupac have been leaving instructions for those willing to read between the lines? If so, how many of us even realized he was speaking directly from the shadows? Fast forward to today, and the empire that Diddy built is crumbling. Federal raids in October 2024 uncovered shocking evidence tied to trafficking, racketeering, and coercion, with prosecutors even comparing his operation to Jeffrey Epstein's. Old files are resurfacing, including documents from the mid-90s that name Diddy nearly 50 times in connection with Tupac's case. On May 5th, 2025, Diddy's trial began in earnest, putting decades of speculation under the microscope. Legal experts are closely watching the parade of witnesses, some of whom have ties to people involved in Tupac's story. And on July 2nd, 2025, a critical motion was filed, seeking to unseal additional records that could link Diddy's past empire to present-day allegations, potentially shedding new light on what really happened in Las Vegas in 1996. As Diddy's empire collapses, the buried truths about Tupac's disappearance might finally surface. Could these trials finally confirm what Gene Deal claimed all along, that Tupac wasn't a victim, but a survivor who outsmarted one of the most powerful men in the industry? What do you think? Will the court uncover the secrets behind Tupac's escape, or will they remain hidden forever? If Gene Deal is telling the truth, Tupac wasn't a victim of circumstance. He was a survivor, a man who saw the threat coming and made the ultimate move to escape it. From the streets of Las Vegas to the markets of Havana, the pieces of his story suggest a carefully orchestrated vanishing act, one that has kept the world guessing for nearly 3 decades. And now, as Diddy faces federal charges and his empire unravels in 2025, the shadows of the past are creeping back into the light. Could the unraveling of this empire finally reveal the secrets Tupac took with him? Or is the world still only seeing fragments of a plan that was decades in the making? Where do you stand? Do you believe Tupac is still alive, hiding somewhere? Or do you think this is a story that will forever remain a legend? Could the truth be stranger than we've ever imagined? Drop your theories in the comments. Let's see what you think. And if you want more stories that uncover the secrets the industry doesn't want you to know, like and subscribe.